Good evening. Two bills recently passed by the Lok Sabha. One is merchant shipping bill, and another is what? Coastal shipping bill. Means both bills are related to what? Shipping industry in India. Fine. And if you will see India have one of the largest coastline in the world. Not the largest one, but one of the largest. 7,500 kilometer of coastline we do have. And India is an emerging economy. Fine. But if you will see infrastructure, in infrastructure, shipping is one of the key factor. Okay. But certain geographical reasons are also responsible for not development of shipping industry in India. So first, let know what the geographical factor. So if we will see the geographical factor for not allowing India to develop the shipping industry, because most of the India's coastline is shallow in the nature, and because of shallow in the nature, large ship cannot reach to where? Port. They cannot reach to at where? Port. So in order to allow large ships to reach at port, you have to go for what? Huge drilling of that area. That means developing a port is more costlier in India in comparison to other country. For example, port at Colombo and port at Mumbai. Fine. So port at Colombo is having more depth than what? Mumbai. So large ship will prefer to go at where? Colombo rather than coming to at where? Mumbai. So this is the geographical region. However, with the development and advancement of the technologies, fine, you can do what? Okay, it will cost more if we will try to develop a deep water port. Fine. So in Indian context, this term is used, deep water port. Fine. So deep water port means what? Which is capable of having even bigger ships. Okay. So with the help of technology, you can develop deep water port also. Why? Because earlier India was not having sufficient money. But as India's economy grown, India have developed the capacity and India have developed the ability to spend more on what? Allowing shipping industry to grow. So that geographical hurdle can be overcome by the help of what? Technology. Now, apart from this geographical hurdle, if you will see our law in the sea, the law which we have made earlier at the time of independence. So the law was made at the time of independence to cater the present and near future requirement, not distant future requirement. So law which was made that was recognizing only the large shipping. Means the shipping which is coming from where? Suppose that the ships which are coming from Saudi Arabia or US. So in that context, we have developed our laws. But over the period of time, what happened? Shipping industry got developed in India, especially in the shallow waters, and from one area to another area. For example, if we want to send a huge cargo from where? From Kerala to Tamil Nadu. So one way is what? Send to the train. And if we have what? Very large ship, and that very large ship will take 7 to 8 days to move that entire thing which we want to move from Kerala to Tamil Nadu coast. Fine, 7 to 8 days it will take. By railway, it will take how many days? Maybe 15 to 20 days. Why? Railway have its own capacity. Bigger ships are able to hold the containers up to 400 tons. Railway maximum to maximum is going to have 60 to 80 tons in one go. So this is why shipping development for inner distribution and trade, it is also very helpful. But in Indian laws, which was made earlier, they are not able to address these things. Okay, another issue. What law we have made earlier, these laws are not addressing the present challenges like security and other issues. So considering all these factors, and main thing, India want shipping industry should be what? Developed. In fact, few years back, government of India have started program like Sagar Mala. Fine, Sagar Mala and Bharat Mala project they have started to develop the coastal infrastructure. But if you have initiated the policy, but that policy is not supported by the law, Is it going to work? No. So this is why certain policy changes are required. And in that context, they have introduced what? Merchant shipping and coastal shipping bill. These are two different bills. Okay, they have introduced. Now, what are the reasons? As I mentioned, see, outdated legislation. Existing merchant shipping bill, 1958, and coastal vessel, which year? 1838. So coastal shipping in India is happening under which act? 1838, the law was made, and under that law, it is happening. So this is why it is very important to change these laws, replaced by new law. Okay. Now, another thing, global standards compilation, aligned with what? Conventions of International Maritime Organization. Over the years, what happened? Marine pollution have increased to manifold, and that is why countries came together and they have signed many agreements. For what purpose? To limit the scope of what? Activities in the sea, less carbon emission, fine, and protecting what? Protecting marine ecosystem by not going too much fishing, fine. So certain laws were proposed and it is signed, and India was also signatories on those laws. But you can implement those laws even after what? You have to change your domestic law. Until unless you are not going to pass a domestic law, can you implement those international treaties? No. And this is why, in order to implement those international standards, it is important to go for what? It is important to go for new laws. Promotion of what? Domestic shipping and simplification of rule. Domestic shipping, like for example, in India, if you want to start a shipping business, fine. If you want to start a shipping business in India, according to present law, only Indian person can start this business. It means what? It means only you cannot take a help of what? Foreign investor, fine, or NRI, or person of Indian origin. You can start the shipping business on your own only. So certain people say that, sir, it is good one. Why foreign people are able to make money? But the main logic behind is that shipping industry is not an industry which can start with 100 rupees. Shipping business is a what? Capital intensive business. Lot of money is required to start this business. So we need those people who are having the ability to what? Invest. So in this way, it will be a win-win situation for those who want to invest and the area where the potential is. So Indian shipping industry having a lot of potential. But because as per law, 100% owned by Indian was condition. Now government said that no, not 100%. Under the new law, even 51% is sufficient. So ownership will be remain in the hand of Indian. But 49% will be given to whom? Foreign investor. So foreign investor can also have a stake and he can invest his money so that he can put his money and create a business of shipping business in India. So this law, proposed law, is going to help a lot to develop what? Shipping industry. Fine. Again, the next point is what? Environmental concern. Coastal shipping. Coastal shipping offers a greener alternative to what? Road transportation, reducing carbon emission and pollution. Just I told you, you want to send certain goods from where? From east coast of India to west coast of India, or west coast of India to what? East coast of India. So two methods, either what? Rail transportation and what? Railway transportation or road transportation. But imagine that one part of India, that is east coast part of India, is going to connect with the west coast of India through a canal. Through a canal you are going to connect. So that inland waterways are India. For example, like we have a national highways. So we also have what? National waterways also. Fine. National waterways. For example, from Allahabad to Haldia. Fine. So that is national waterway number 1. So that's national waterway number one needs certain promotions, needs certain simplification of the rule so that those companies who are interested to use those waterways for their business purpose, they can use. But rules are very complicated in the nature. 2 years back, Maruti Suzuki, fine, they started one shipment, started from where? Started from Allahabad and it reached to where? Haldia. Fine. So they did an experiment. But even doing that experiment, they have faced a lot of hurdles, lot of complications. Even when government was overlooking that thing, still they face what? Lot of legal issues. So that legal issues are a hurdle for development of inland waterways and coastal waterways. So this is why it is very important that you have that law so that you can use waterways more and less dependent on what? Less dependent on rail or road. And it is cheaper and cleaner. Cheaper as well as what? Cleaner with this objective. Doing business and maritime growth, as I discussed, key allowing more and more investment, it will help. Now, see the key features of which will merchant shipping will. What is merchant? Who is merchant? Those who are involved in the business of selling and purchasing. Those who are involved in the business of what? Purchasing from someone and selling to someone. They do not have the interest what good it is. They are not interested what good it is. They are interested to what? To purchase from one person and sell to other person. Fine. So these are known as what? Merchant. And this is why merchant shipping is there. I hope you have heard about merchant navy. Fine. Merchant navy. So many people are interested to work in what? Merchant navy. Fine. Merchant navy. Why? Because they provide very handsome amount of salary. Why? Because you are working in difficult conditions. Another reason. These companies who are going to give you merchant navy job, these shipping companies are basically foreign based company and their remuneration in terms of what? Foreign currency and based on international standard. So they are not paying very handsome. They are actually paying according to international standard and in foreign currency. So if you'll compare, they are providing not very handsome amount. They are providing minimum wages according to what? International standard in terms of what? Dollar. And even $2,000 multiplied by 84, roughly 1,70,000. Fine. So this is why people feel that the merchant navy is what? Good one. But the dark side is what? All these merchant vessels who are operating around the world, they are basically what? Of foreign origin. Imagine a situation like what is happening with Russia right now. Russia want to sell its oil, but most of the merchant ships are owned by whom? West. And because they are owned by West have put the sanctions. What sanctions? Okay, no, we will not allow you to use that ship for what purpose? Sending Russian oil. If India is also going on war, and same thing will happen with India also, do you think that India is able to export? No. So this is why it is very important to develop merchant shipping where? In India. So it is a long-term strategic thinking. At a point of time, India, which is aspiring to be a global leader, and if the Indian shipping industry will be largely under control or driven by whom? Foreign merchant vessels. So it is not good for what? India. So this is why it is very important to first define what is merchant shipping. Right now, the present law defines merchant shipping only in context of larger ships. Small ships, very small ships are not defined. So define them. Once it is defined, then make sure that all these ships will be going to get foreign investments, but controlling state with whom? India. So in that context, this bill is what? Introduced. See, Simplified ship registration process. Right now, the registration process is cumbersome one. So, registration process will be what? Simplified under this bill, and they are mentioning seafarer, welfare, and protection. Seafarer, welfare, and protection. As I said that merchant navy is in India, but that merchant navy is related to only what? That is related to only big ships, not small ships and trawlers. So this is why those people who are working in the small ships, they are not covered by social protection. Means if some mishappening is going to happen, they are not being under any protection. Like for example, gig economy. So those who are working in what? Those who are working in the Zomato, Swiggy like companies, they are delivery partners. If some mishappening is going to happen, is Swiggy or Zomato is going to pay some money to their family? Answer is no. So they are out of what? Social security net. Similarly, shipping industry, except large shipping vessels, small, medium, and very small shipping vessels, those who are working there, they are not covered any what? They are not covered any law. Why? Law is not defining. The earlier law of 1958 and 1838, these two laws do not define small vessels. And if it is not defined, how we will provide the social protection? Now the new law is going to define. And once it is defined, many companies can offer what? Insurance product to them in this context. Third point. Fine. One more point, like training certification. So training certification, what is training certification? Sea, rail, road, and sea. So even you want to drive a vehicle on the road, you need a license. One is personal license, one is what? Commercial license. So commercial license is there. So when you will go for the commercial license, you have to follow certain practice. Fine. And after that, you can go for licensing. So they will give you the provisional license, and after that, they will ask you to come to show your skills. Fine. Show your skills. Only then they will give you what? Permanent. Acha. This is the case of road. In the case of railways, you will be selected. Fine. And then they will conduct a psychometric test. Psychometric test. For example, they will show you something on the board, and they will ask you what you interpret it. What is your interpretation? For example, on a screen, red color is coming, and they're asking, what do you understand by it? You said blood. Fine, you said blood. Some person said that it's a color of revolution, sacrifice. So in that way, they will try to understand person's psychological understanding. And then when you are selected, they will give you the proper training. Given by who? Indian Railways. Similarly, in India, shipping industry, training is given by whom? Government of India. But shipping, fine. Shipping is a more costlier. Training in the shipping area is more costlier than what? In train as well as what? Road. So this is why government of India have to invest the money. But because of the limited resources, government is not able to spend enough amount of money to provide what? Training. But new bill will allow government of India to allow private companies to establish their training center in India and to train whom? Anyone who want to invest at where? Start the shipping business. So by this, a qualitative training, and it is going to be available at where? In India only. Earlier, if you want to be a captain of a ship, for that purpose, you have to go to Germany, you have to go to Canada, you have to go to Australia to take the training there. Why? Such kind of training facility is not available in India. But now, these training facilities can be established at where? India. So it is another step to make popular shipping industry in India. Fine. Now, pollution control and environmental standards. Strict regulation. Prevent marine pollution, ensuring compliance with what? MARPOL, Convention, International Convention for what? Prevention of pollution from ships. So ships are also polluting, and many of the big ships, they have huge amount of asbestos. Asbestos. Do you know that India is one of the largest ship breaking industry? Alga port at Gujarat, it is a ship breaker. So they break the ship. So in the world, Bangladesh is a country which is number one in the ship breaking. Ship breaking means what? Those ships who have completed their life cycle. Now they will be broken, and whatever the useful material is there, that will be re-galvanized and sold in the market. So the ship breaking industry is also one of the biggest industry. Bangladesh is a leader, and after that, which country? India. And though Bangladesh is a leader, but the port in Gujarat is considered the biggest port in the world for what purpose? Shipbreaking. But there is a dark side also. Shipbreaking, these ships who have completed their life cycle, they are having huge amount of water, huge amount of polluting agents. For example, asbestos. Fine. And if they will be going to mix with the marine water, it is going to pollute the marine ecosystem. So there is a need to have a law so that such kind of the pollution can be what? Regulated by shipbreaking industry plus the existing shipping fleet also. Fine. For example, in urban areas, you can see that in many of the vehicles which are having what? Which are having higher standard, Bharat stage 5 and 6. But in the rural areas, you will find that even that vehicle which is maybe 30-40 years old, it is still used for what purpose? For ferrying purpose from one place to another place. Same thing happening in India, because no proper law to mention what pollution standard should be used. Fine. For example, those motor vehicles, every vehicle have what? BS5, BS6 mark. So until unless you are having BS5 and BS6, we will not allow you that vehicle on the road. Such kind of the regulation is not in the shipping industry. So even suppose that ship is owned by Australian company. Fine. And Australian government said that now this is suppose that in Australia they have their shipping standard that is known as M, standard M. Fine. So they are defining M4 standard. And now Australia said that the M4 standard is replaced by what? M5. Those vehicles who are standard of what? M4 engine, they will be not allowed to operate in where? Australian water. So what Australia will do? Australia will sell all those vessels which are of which standard? M4 and its previous one, M1, M2, M3. M4 will be sold where? India, because India do not have any standard in this regard. So all the garbage of the world is deposited at where? Indian shipping industry. Why? Because there is no proper regulation there. And this is why this new bill is instrumental in the nature, because they are going to establish certain standards, will allow us to establish certain standards in order to go for what? Pollution control. Fine. Now, decentralization of administrative power, delegation of specific regulatory and administrative power to state government and local authorities to improve what? Governance efficiency. Shipping is in union list. Fine. So union government have power to what? Make certain necessary laws related to what? Shipping industry. And sometimes these shipping industries rules and regulation, which is uniformly made by the government of India, is not supportive for local purpose. So under new bill, government of India is going to give a delegated power. Means power will be remain with whom? Government of India. But now government of India give this power to whom? State. You can manage at your state level as well as what? Local level. So for example, state of Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, fine. So Kerala have a coastline, Tamil Nadu have a coastline. Are all the cities of all the districts of Tamil Nadu have a coastline? No, only certain districts are having the coastline connection. So, government of India is going to do what? Give to the state. And what state is going to do? Delegate that power to whom? Those districts who are touching what? Coastline. For better and effective management related to what? Shipping and merchant shipping. Understood? For this purpose. As I have discussed, modernization of what? Ship recycling. I have already discussed this thing. Fine. Attracting foreign investment, I already explained. Legal simplification, I have explained. Now, this coastal shipping, see, two bills are there. One is merchant, and other is what? Coastal. See, so one bill is regarding what? This coastal zone. Coastal zone. So this is our coastal zone. So one bill is regarding what? One bill is regarding to make certain changes for this area. That is what? Coastal shipping bill. And those again. So this is our coastline. So one bill is going to protect what? One bill is going to address issues of this area. Fine. That is what? Coastal. And other bill is regarding ships which are operating at where? Which are operating in this zone. Small ships and what? Bigger ships. So in shipping industry, the term is used Indian flagged. Indian flagged. Fine. Or Australian flagged or Canadian flagged. Why? Because if you have seen that lot of time the sea pirates, fine, sea pirates are operating in the Arabian Sea and they attack on certain vessels, fine, and news come ki Canadian or Turkish flagged the ship, Indonesian flagged the ship. What it means that? It means that that ship which is under attack by pirates, it is basically from which country? Indonesia. So Indonesian flagged vessel. So suppose you want to purchase certain goods from US. Fine. So you have made an order and that importer also agreed ki, okay, I will send that goods to you. Okay. And you also said that ki, I will make a payment. I will make the payment. So he said that, okay, make the payment, I will send it. And you are having, if I will give the money first, and what if he's not going to send? He is also thinking same, if I will send that good and you are not going to pay, then what will happen? So that is why there is a term known as letter of credit. For example, Exim Bank of India. So Exim Bank, Export and Import Bank of India. Export and Import of Bank of India, he saw that there is an issue between whom? There is an issue between Indian importer and US exporter. Regarding what? Payment. Both are not having confidence on each other. So what Exim Bank said? Exim Bank said, Indian company, ki give this money to us. So Exim Bank got that money and they issued a letter to whom? The company which is sending their goods from where? US. And here Exim Bank reported that we have received the money. We have received the money. Once your consignment will reach at where? India, we will give you the payment. So US company said that done. Now shipping. And while shipping, if any incident happened, then who will be responsible? That is why first we need a shipping company. Second, we need a company which can ensure that shipping by the premium charges. Fine. And both cases,